Hello everybody, this is Lance Seidman. I'm here on my Windows 7 HP laptop. This video is, well, for the Locker Gnome community, which as you know is owned by Chris Perillo. But right now I'm going to teach you something that Microsoft most likely doesn't want you to know, because if they did, we wouldn't be playing this hide and seek game, which, you know what, we have won. Anyways, let's start doing this now, okay? So what we want to do is very simple, and you've probably done it hundreds of times. Well, as silly as it sounds, I want you to go forth and create a new folder anywhere you want, but I recommend using your desktop. So we'll go ahead and click New. Okay. Now you see the option for Folder, correct? Well, I think you do. So let's go ahead and click Folder. Okay, now our new folder is created, and as you see, it just says, well, new folder. That's the default name, and most of the time you will, change your folder name, and that's exactly what we're going to do. This is all part of the hack. You have to rename the folder. So let's go ahead and right-click it. We want to go all the way down to where it says Rename. Quite simple, yes? Okay, now it says New Folder. So let's go ahead and remove the name. Now, I'm going to assume you've already copied the string I told you in the beginning of the video, or wherever you saw this video. It should have the string, which is basically that small line of code that starts with GodMode. So I'm assuming you have it, so it should be copied. If not, go ahead and do it, because the next step is just not going to work with that. Let's go ahead and right-click the new folder, okay? And let's go to where it says Rename. And now the new folder name is highlighted again. So we'll go ahead and right click. And then we want to left click where it says Paste. Now you'll see crazy looking characters that you copied. It should all be there. Normally you would think it would not work, but it definitely will. Now we have it saying God Mode. Now that's just because what I've known it as. You can change it to whatever you want. But again, I recommend that just for this tutorial, but you can even go ahead and call it, Secret Agent if you wanted. But again, we're going to go ahead and go back to God Mode. Okay, so let's make sure that we have the dot to the bracket. Scroll all the way down, and we're making sure we have the end of the bracket. Extremely important, will not work. Now, some of you notice this kind of looks like a registry key. Well, that's indeed true, and it's used as a setting. So we're going to go ahead now and click off of the desktop, or you can go ahead and press Enter on your keyboard. But I'm just going to left click anywhere off of the screen, the blank area. So now that I've done that, immediately it's given that little system icon looking thing, and it says God Mode, no space, obviously, as you see. But now let's hover over it for a second before we even explore this. See, it says empty folder. Well, that's indeed true, but wait till we double click this, okay? But let's go ahead and double click or single click, depending how you have your computer set up. The good news is, if you're normally a Mac user, you're used to single click, which God Mode actually allows you to change it to single click, should you wish that to be done. But of course you can go into Control Panel, Mouse, and change that. But we'll go ahead and double click, in my case, God Mode. Ta-da! Well, let me go ahead and hide my little icons here. You don't care about that. Now, as you see, a ton of stuff here, and I recommend you really read what you're gonna be clicking, especially since these settings, you change them, it affects your whole computer and usually every single user account that's on your system. And again, like I said, it's very important to read it. For instance, here you have restore your computer to an earlier time. And as you see, you can create and format your hard disk partitions, which a lot of people ask me how to do. They also ask, how do you defrag? Which obviously you can do that simply by going to the Start menu, and depending on your Windows version, it varies just a little bit. And then how to add new hardware, very important sometimes for some people. Schedule tasks. Now that is great, especially if you're using a third-party backup tool. Sometimes it's great to just initiate that, or have, certain things start doing cleanups and whatnot. View the event logs, sometimes important. View the local services, great, especially since some programs install things that should not, or they think they should be, but I recommend you disable them. Now, if you're like me, I hate autoplay. You can start or stop it and prevent that from happening. And like I said, back up your computer, restore data files and your computer from a backup. Change many things here. Windows credentials, set default programs for when you open it, and even set a file type in a specific program to launch it. And then you have your other things: install a gadget, uninstall a gadget, and add a clock. Very basic things. However, not many people know how to use it, or well, they just don't know where to find it. And a lot of people say, "Oh, go Google it." Well, a lot of people don't know exactly what they should be saying to Google, which, let me tell you, happens a lot in my life. I can't tell you how many people I know ask me, well, what do I tell it? Anyways, and you see, you can adjust your display, the ease of access center, which is great for people with disabilities and people just with bad vision. You can change the way your keyboard works, your mouse works, change the narrator voice, which is good for some people because it's hard for some people to understand. And you can even set up a tone for when you press on your buttons, just like if you have an iPhone, or I think Windows7 does it too. When you push a button, it makes a little click noise, lets you know that you actually pushed it. We could go ahead and really quickly look, and as you see, there you go. You can test the settings by typing and whatnot, but we're not going to go ahead and play with that. And so you can have combo keys. Not everybody has those fancy keyboards where they come, with press F57 and, Facebook will load in Firefox or something. You can, create your own combos, which is great. And a ton of options in here. Look, even optimized for blindness. Gosh. Folder options, very important sometimes. Fonts. Again, people don't always know how to install fonts, and this allows you to change fonts, see your fonts, and so on. Even shows you how to transfer files from another computer, which is very important if you buy a new computer. And again, people, not everybody knows. I wouldn't get half the work I do if people knew. Change the way Windows searches. And then you have your internet options, very important. You have your keyboard blink rate, which I don't recommend anybody changing that. No need. Location and other sensors. Very important. Let me tell you. I don't always like me being able to be tracked through websites unless I allow it. Now, some browsers, automatically say, "Oh, would you like geolocation?" And, well, I don't know. I don't always trust it, to be honest with you. There's always a way to bypass things. Anyways, and you have your mouse options. Look at that. Things that you normally would know how to do, or you'd have to download another program to do, and, it's just right here. Definitely take a look at this. I mean, restore your computer or reinstall Windows. Great. Again, really good. Speech recognition. Don't buy that Dragon Natural Speak. Windows has it right there. Just set up your microphone, and if you got a laptop, normally it's built in and usually near your little camera, and start speech recognition. Use your voice to type. Why not? Not a lot of programs accept it. However, the great thing about the Windows voice recognition, you say show numbers, and if there's a certain screen you want to close, or let's say icons you want to open, you just say the number, okay, and it'll open it. Then again, like I said, here's your stuff. You got multiple computers. Rename this computer, Rename it so you know what computer is what, Get into your device manager. Make sure Windows knows of all of your devices plugged in. Sometimes you can have a heck of a time having a Windows machine that, not all of the devices are known or recognized and the drivers are installed. Usually you can see a yellow with the black exclamation point. That is not good. You want to change that. It can cause sometimes serious issues. But here you are with your taskbar and start menu, you know, in troubleshooting. Very important for a lot of people. You know, not everybody knows how to troubleshoot. Now you can. You know, and a lot of questions I get, how to create an administrator, pardon me. You know, obviously you go into, you know, start, control panel, user accounts and create it, but here you are, easy access. You highlight over it, tells you what it is, or you just read it. And link your online IDs, which is great if you have a Hotmail/Live account, and you know, here's everything. And always make sure your guest account is off. I don't care what anybody tells you, turn it off now. And here's Windows Defender. You know, always scan for spyware. Even if you have another program, just scan. Here's the Windows Firewall. Allow certain programs like your video games that a lot of time don't work, you know. That can help you quite a bit, you know. Quite a bit. And Windows updates, change it, don't change it. So now you know. Go ahead and try it, play with it, be very careful. Know what you're doing before you make any changes, and that's it. Please, you know, check out lockergnome.com. It's really a great site. Anyways, have a good day and safe night, and hope this helped. Bye.